Welcome back, golfers. It's a beautiful cloudy day for a round of golf. We are at Garden Course of Tanah Merah Country Club and we are teeing off the 10th tee. I went with a 3-iron because I've noticed the pin is a red one. It's just behind the bunker, and this is a hole where you want your second shot to be a full shot, or at least something where you can control the spin in. Here I've left with 102 meters and went with a 50 degree, went straight for the pin. At this point of time, I'm still not warmed up yet, so most of the shots that I'm hitting are about 80%. Missed the birdie on the first hole, and we've started with a par. A very good start. On this hole is a par 3. We've got 120 meters to the pin. It's behind the bunker again, and I've noticed that this is a pin where you do not really want to attack it. I used a pitching wedge and played to the left of the green. Unfortunately, I hit it slightly behind and the ball ended up short. I had to make a long putt. I failed to realize that the green was pretty fast, but made the putt going back for par. This par 4 is rather short, but instead of using a driver, as you can see the fairway is pretty narrow. I went with a 3-iron as I wanted a wedge shot into a back pin which is also behind the bunkers. Now you notice a lot of pins behind the bunker on this course, and you really have to plan your second shot. Otherwise you'll be caught in a position where you're not able to get up and down. So a nice birdie from 10 feet and we are 1 under. Hole 13 is a par 3. I plan to hit a driver over the trees as they have moved the tees forward. So it's kind of advantageous for me and I can put these two on. With 195 meters to a red pin, I hit a 4-iron. Hit this slightly low as if you land your ball in front of the green, it may run on. And now I have a look for eagle. The putt was rather straightish, maybe left inside. Can you draw Daniel ma? After sinking this putt, I knew that today is going to be an extraordinary day. So I remained using my 80% tempo, went with an 8-iron for this 133 meters pin. On hindsight, I should have used a 7-iron, but if I get my ball on the green on this hole, it's always a great thing. Now I'm left with a long putt, and the only thing in my mind is to picture this ball ending up next to the hole and walk away with 2 putts. This par 4 is well designed with a bunker in the middle. It's reachable for me. I have to hit it to the far left of this fairway. If you do hit it there, the ball actually runs a bit further. And I'm left with a sand wedge 90 meters to the back pin on the right side of the green. And now I gave myself another birdie look. It really looked like it was in all the way. This par 4 is almost reachable for me, and I went with a really hard driver and ball ended up just behind the bunker, and I had to carry this bunker and land it on the apron and let the ball release gently towards the pin. Now to me this is quite a tough pitch shot as the ball is just perched at the edge of the rough and it's against green, so a lot of bad things can happen here. The only focus I had was to use the bounce and be smooth. So we are 4 under so far for 7 holes. On this 8th hole, I've got about 125 meters. I went with a 9-iron and still sticking to the tempo and rhythm of 80%. I've set myself up for another birdie look. It's a big left to right one and just shy on the speed. My aim is over this tree right in front of us. I have to hit it really good, otherwise the bunker would catch us. And I must say today has been a really good driving day. From here I've got a 3 iron. I intend to hit this really low, stinger. The ball ran and came up slightly short of the green. Now with the pin tucked right at the back, I went with an 8 iron chip and run. And the only thing I wanted the ball to do was to end up below the hole, basically left of this pin. And with this uphill putt, it's another birdie. So 5 under on the front 9. Man, it's a good day. So on the 10th hole, I went with a driver and hit this like a low left to right one. With 125 meters to the pin, it's a front one. I went with a 9 iron. Same thing, I kept it smooth again. And this is probably the first green I've missed today. I've a decent uphill chip. A missing right of this pin is pretty good, as I can use a chip and run, let the ball release up, and maybe even sink a birdie. The front 9, hole number 2. We've got a 9 iron again to a 130 meter pin. The wind is slightly behind us, so 80% swing, pretty good. Went straight for the pin and left with another birdie look. I think I've missed a few of these left to right ones already, and I might have to really work on them. This par 5 is switchable on in 2. Smash the driver. Now I'm left with 199 meters to a back pin. It's kind of difficult to carry the ball all the way to the back, as you do not want to be long. So I went right of the green instead and left with a really long right to left tricky putt. And take note, this putt on the downhill is really, really fast. Couldn't believe how fast this putt was. And I'm left with a really long left to right birdie. So this is the third left to right putt that I missed. I went with the driver on this one, as I believe I hit it really well. I will leave myself with a chip at putt. However, I missed this and I'm left with a very tricky 35 meter pitch shot. Anything can go wrong here. I can hit it short into the bunker or blade it right to the back. You just have to stay calm and trust your skills. And I have another birdie look. So -6, and we are left with 5 holes. Took a driver, went straight for the green. I won't be able to reach this one. And I'm left with a 50 meter shot. I took a lob wedge 58 degrees, as I wanted the ball to fly straight for the pin and land softly. Unfortunately, I was lacking in strength for this and speed. Ball came up short, and a pretty long left to right putt again.
Last ball.
Now this hole at hole 6, if I wanted to be aggressive, I really had to fly the ball over the water. But when I went back to my bag, I only left with 1 ball.
What?
But I made a decision to go aggressive, as I've been driving really well the whole day. And the result was a good one. Sometimes when you're playing really well and you're left with the last few holes, you may want to protect it and play safe. But in my case, through a lot of my experience, especially playing competitions, it's always best to just stick to your game and stick to the plan. So with a 9 iron chip and run, I'm left with a very short birdie putt, and now we are 7 under. I could actually birdie the last 3 holes and maybe make the course record. A 9 iron on this par 3, I just had to put the ball on the green from 125 meters. And another testy birdie putt. Can this be 8 under? I'm pretty stunned myself, as this is probably the lowest score I've ever been in my life. And left with 2 holes, I wanted to be aggressive and use a driver on this hole as we can put it on. Made a slight mistake, pushed it slightly towards the right, and the ball ended up in the waist bunker. Now, the point of attacking the pin is out, so I just needed the ball to be on the green safely. It doesn't really matter where, I just got to get it out. So I went with a sand wedge, a 54 degree instead of a lob wedge, because I needed lesser loft to get it further. And what do you know, I have another birdie look again. Can this be 9 under? Oh, so close. So I've got one more hole, one more last chance to birdie it and go 9 under. Took a driver. Wanted to hit a high draw. Unfortunately, I blocked it. But the ball is still safe. I must thank the design of this fairway, as right is still okay. The wind is against us and the ball is perched on an uphill. I went with a 4 iron instead of a 3 wood, as I wanted to control the flight into the air and place the ball to about 100 meters left towards the pin. Now I have about 100 meters with a strong headwind, so I think it's about 105 or 110. I could have gone with a pitching wedge, but I did not want my ball to be over the pin or over the green. Otherwise, it would have been a difficult up and down. So I decided with a 50 degrees. I mean, short 20 feet is still better than long 5 feet on this pin. So with this last putt and my last attempt for 9 under, so damn close. I think honestly, I could have used a pitching wedge on that last hole. But I did not regret using the 50 degree. Because if I hit it over on that pin, I think I would have at least had a bogey. So 8 under, pretty happy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next week.